Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the channel and welcome to the first daily race review on the channel in quite some time. We've just got a video here of a very nice race we had at the Nurburgring 24-hour layout in the Group 4 cars, this week's daily race C. Settings here on the screen is just the 2 laps to get around. We've got the medium and the hard tyres available. The hard tyres are just the ones that are mandatory, but the big thing about this one is the fuel. It's at ×7. So it's very much a fuel saving race. Tyre wear is at ×8. Because you're just on the hard tyres, the strategy for this one is just do the no stop on the hard tyres, save fuel throughout the race, and that is the way to go about this one. But yeah, because you're on those hard tyres, the tyre wear is not too much of an issue. So here is how the field lines up for this one. We're down in P8 with an 842 and we are in the Ferrari 458 Italia for this one. A few fairly familiar names ahead of me, Mario Sonic and Mel the Greek will probably be known to a few of you out there if you do some daily race C, and we're going to see some action from both of them as this video goes on. But getting through to the start now, we put the fuel mix up onto fuel mix 6 just for that little bit of the rolling start. It might save you 0.5%, which might just be vital towards the end of the race. So taking it nice and easy down towards turn number 1, but I can see the Italian behind me is in a little bit of a hurry. I try to keep to the inside behind the Audi TT in front just to try and keep that position from the Italian Audi TT, and he just clean goes right around the outside of me and also the German in the TT as well. Side by side with the German down towards turn number 3, I suppose that is, and he's going to get that move made. Now I suspected the Italian here was on the medium tyres. Just taking a little bit of a look at this replay, because it's worth looking at again. Fantastic move, fantastic confidence on the brakes and the tyres early on in the race. Right round the outside of both of us. Had to battle it down towards turn number 3 with the German to keep that position, but as you can see here, they're going to get the job done. And as I said, I assumed they were on the medium tyre, so I wasn't too bored at this point, but it did actually turn out they were on the hard tyres, so kudos to the Italian, as I said, for a fantastic move. And as I said, very brave on the brakes and the cold tyres at the beginning of that race. Obviously not saving any fuel though at that stage of the race, I think it would be fair to say. So we've lost a position early on, down into 9th place now, and we are behind the German of, I think that's Surf, is it? We'll just call him Surf from this point onwards in the Audi TT. Now we had a little bit of a race with the German in the previous race, so I was pretty confident I was quicker than the German, so had to try and get that overtake done nice and early. Taking a little bit of a look down here into the left-hander, we do get alongside, space given on both parts of there. We've tried to keep hanging around the outside with the German, but he just kind of closes the door a little bit. Wasn't super impressed with that, but looking back at it, all is well and good with the move. Under pressure now from another German in and out, another Audi TT down towards the chicane, and this was looking like a little bit of a messy situation, but thankfully the other German pulls out of that move into the chicane, showing a good bit of racecraft. However, just up ahead, our friend Surf is about to put his Audi TT into the wall as we enter the Nordschleife properly, and we're going to go for a fairly robust move down into the left hand corner here. Now I was unsure whether that was fair, but it felt like I was enough alongside to deserve to be on that part of the track. Let's take a look at this one again. We're just going to pause the footage here so you can see we're well alongside. Definitely got a right to go for the apex of the corner. As we go forward in slow motion here, you can see there's a little bit of a contact there. It's nothing too major. I think we were making that corner fairly comfortable without it. The German hasn't lost really any time behind us, but we've got the move made, and looking back at the replay, it certainly was very robust, but I think we had every right to have our car where it was, and I think all said and done, just about fair. So now it's up to us to catch up with this little group in front. We've got a little group of 3 cars. I think there's 2 Scirocco's and 1 Audi TT, one of whom has got a penalty, so that's going to be a position made up if we can stay in this kind of position all the way to the end of this first lap. But of course, it wouldn't be a GT Sport video without some shenanigans, and the next little bit of shenanigans are about to happen, just going up ahead into the very fast right-hander. You can see the Italian who made the move on is on the outside of turn number 1. So went for another little bit of an ambitious overtake, I would say, on the Scirocco of a Hellraiser there, and appears to have come off worst. Hellraiser has been sacrificed. I think it may be Hellraiser It's been sacrificed down the straight, and that allows us to make up 2 positions there, and us up to P6. Let's take a look back at this. 2 into 1 does not go in this corner. There's nothing really wrong from the Italian, who ends up the worst of the 2 cars involved in that collision, but it's just a very, very, very silly place to go for an overtake. I'm not saying the Italian did anything wrong, but you're taking a big risk if you try to go side by side through that extremely fast right hand corner. So that is us up into P6, and we are behind Lou-04 in an orange Scirocco. So if we fast forward the footage here, you're going to see we have caught up with Lou quite comfortably, and we're now putting him under some pressure. Now, one thing I did notice when I was watching Lou here is he was putting an awful lot of work through the front axle of his Scirocco. You might see it in a few of the corners here, asking an awful lot of the front tyres, and when I check back the replay, he has extremely bad front tyre wear. So if you watch this video, Lou, that's definitely something you need to work on. You're asking way too much of your front tyres, particularly around this corner here. You can see the front of the car just scrubbing out. His tyre wear was at least twice as bad as some of the other Scirocco's at this point in the race, so definitely something to be worked on, and it's going to cost him quite dear as this race goes on, as you shall see. But we are putting Lou under a lot of pressure here. He's just doing his job though, he's not making any major mistakes. It's our job to drive safely behind this driver here, even though we are faster. We can't just force our way through, we have to try and get the overtake done. And get a good exit out of the right hander there up the hill. The Scirocco with its front wheel drive cars, front wheel drive, does get a good pull out of a lot of these corners. We're in the Ferrari, it's good in different parts of the circuit. I'm much more happier driving this car. I don't really enjoy driving the FF cars, and that's why we've gone for the Ferrari. It's also pretty good on its tyres, and it's very easy to manage the fuel. So Lou has realised that he doesn't really want to face this pressure much more. He puts his indicator on, he tells us to go to the left hand side. I get that, do that all the time. He tells us to go to the right hand side of the track to make the overtake. He sticks to the left, and through up into P5 we go. So thank you very much to Lou for that. Unfortunately though, as we're just about to see, his generosity is going to cost him quite a lot. So there he puts the indicator on, telling me to go by on the right hand side, and through we go. Unfortunately, that lift off the throttle is going to just allow the Bang pack behind to pounce. He was a little bit of a cork in the bottle, so a bit of a queue of cars have formed behind him, and that's 2 positions he's lost there. Heel Racer going for a bit of a crazy move in his Scirocco, but making it work. Lou just out of sync here with everyone, and has lost 4 positions, is under pressure from some other cars behind. But I do appreciate some generosity there from Lou on letting me through. So as we cross the line here to complete lap number 1, we can see we have got the fuel spot on. 50% as we cross the line means we are very much on target to make this race at the end. Now we had used a little bit more fuel than I normally do, we had to get some overtakes done there, but it's very easy to save fuel with the Ferrari. You don't have to use the fuel mixtures at all, just a little bit of short shifting, maybe changing about 30-40% when you're kind of trying to keep up with cars, and if you're getting held up you can just short shift even less than that, and you can easily manage the fuel in this car. So up ahead we've got P2, 3 and 4, and we've been closing them up over the course of that first lap, and they have now served a couple of penalties, and Mario Sonic, who's now in P4, has went from P2 to P4. It's also allowed us to close the gap up to them a little bit as well. So through the Schumacher race we're going to come here, and you can see Mario Sonic's got a little bit of a run on the Greek driver Mel. And he's going to go for a bit of a look down the inside here. In fact, actually Mel's going to go wide into the left-hander here. He's going to come back on the track with dirty tyres. Mario Sonic's going to try and go round the outside, and Mel is just not going to give him any space. He's going to push him off the track. I thought Mario Sonic was a complete goner there, but he manages to save that BMW very nicely and avert complete disaster. But it has allowed us to move up into P4. So let's take a look back at this one. Mario Sonic obviously down into P4 now from P2 after 7.5 second penalty. Mel goes very wide. He's going to come back on the track with dirty tyres. He's not going to have a whole lot of grip around the right hander here, and he's just going to nudge Mario Sonic off the track. Fairly costly for Mario Sonic. I did watch back the replay. Mel did kind of have full lock on to try and bring the car around, but with the dirty tyres it just didn't seem to grip. But it kept his foot in as well. I think really he should have been lifting off the throttle. He must have known Mario Sonic was there, and it should have given him a little bit more space and respect. Now, I have driven with Mel numerous times. He has, I think it's fair to say, a little bit of a reputation in the game. He can be quite a aggressive and dirty driver at times. He's featured in a couple of my videos in the past. I remember it was the Renault Clios at Interlagos. He was up to all sorts of shenanigans with several drivers, I think it'd be fair to say, but he seemed to take a special disliking to me that week. So I was treating the back of Mel's Scirocco here with a lot of caution, I think it'd be fair to say. We're definitely quicker, you can see we've caught up here. We're looking to get away through it, but didn't really want to go for the overtake. Two reasons I didn't want to go for the overtake. I wasn't entirely sure how Mel would take it, plus we were actually catching P2, so I knew if I could just hold on at this point, save a little bit of fuel so I could go hammer and tongs at the end. Hopefully Mel might make a little bit of a mistake. He's definitely a fairly erratic driver, and we should still have been in close proximity to P2 to try and maybe get up into that second position. But we are putting Mel under a lot of pressure here, but he's not cracking quite at the moment. So fast forwarding down here towards the carousel, and our opportunity is about to present itself. So coming out of the right hander as we get the run up to the carousel, we've got a little bit of a run here, but this is just not a place to overtake. We can't do anything here. And onto the carousel we go, and Mel's going to go in a little bit hot, and he's going to go up high. It's going to allow us to kind of pull alongside on the low side of the carousel and get alongside here on a kind of meandering, extremely fast part of the track. But we're alongside here. This is usually a full throttle corner. We have to give a little bit of a lift to give Mel some room on the outside, but we've just about got the move done. We're not quite there. We have to give some space on the inside for this fast right hander, but eventually it looks like we're ahead and got that move made. And in all fairness to Mel, he gave us space where we needed it, and if we're going to look back at the replay of it, I suspect that it was maybe more luck, or just as much luck as skill, but again, credit where credit's due. Let's give the benefit of the doubt, I suppose, to Mel. He did on this occasion race fairly, cleanly and with respect, although he certainly never made it easy, but why should he at this stage in the race? So looking back at the replay on this, it looks fantastic. Side by side through several corners here, very, very fast corners. And as you look at this point here, Mel does come flying across the track. He just misses the back of our car. Had we been maybe half a metre further back, then he probably would have caught the back of us and spun us out. But again, I don't think anything there was deliberate, because he had plenty of opportunity before that corner to take us out if he'd really wanted to. So up into P3 now, and we have caught up with TGC Gaming, who I believe is on my friends list, possibly a subscriber. He did say hello before the race began, so it was nice to have a little bit of a race with him. So coming through the sort of mini carousel in the last corner onto the main straight here, the Ferrari is very weak compared to the Scirocco, but the Ferrari has a bit of a party piece as we come down the straight. So we've got plenty of fuel left, and we get into that slipstream, we pass the Scirocco with ease. Now, in a lot of circumstances we'd be in trouble here, because the Scirocco would just come into our slipstream and then slipstream by the time we got down to the braking zone. But unfortunately for the Scirocco, it tops out at 162 miles an hour coming down the straight, whereas the Ferrari, even in the slipstream that is, whereas the Ferrari can carry on all the way to 164 miles an hour even without the slipstream. So the Scirocco just can't come back at the Ferrari on the straight as you would normally expect with a lot of cars, and so we're comfortably able to keep that position. And it's been an eventful race. There's been some good racing, with some shenanigans that went on with some of the other drivers. We've seen some good sportsmanship, but a very, very enjoyable race as we go from P8 all the way up to P number 2. We couldn't do anything about Enzo up in P1, far too quick for us. He had a nice comfortable race, so congratulations to Enzo on the victory. But thank you very much to everyone that I raced with in that one. Really enjoyed that race. You know who you are. We had some good action there. And nice to see some good racing, and you can actually race on the Nurburgring or the Nordschleife as it is. It's always had this bit of reputation you can't race on it, so hopefully this video has proven that you can actually have some good racing with other drivers at this combination. So I'll just leave you with the post-race chat here, nothing too much to look at. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I do apologise, it's only in 720p when people are out there putting 4K videos out, but we are still just using Share Factory because it's really the only video editing suite that I can use. Anyway, if you do like the content or you do like the video, please do hit that like button, please do hit that subscribe button, and I shall see you on the next one. Goodbye now.